What's up, everybody? I'm Scott.
I'm Jason.
And you are listening to Liquid Kernedge. What's up, buddy?
Oh, man, nothing. I had a week of nightmares thinking about Chris last week, all the ghost stuff.
Isn't that a trip, though?
I don't know if I told you that. I think I did tell you this,
Yeah.
that after that whole experience that we had, I went out to my home, and I swear my front door was doing this. And there was no one there.
Uh-huh. It's cool, man.
And no one there.
Well,
Guess what I did?
Did you tell the Chris to leave?
Hey, you're not allowed in my house. Go away. And now it's over.
Do you ever think maybe that's why they were knocking?
Well, I felt bad that the Mormons ran that fast, but it doesn't matter, man. The ghost spirit was not coming in my door.
And actually, it's really cool you bring up last week's episode because Chris Melanson from Paranormal NOLA posted a new video on his YouTube channel tonight or this morning of dowsing rods used over the weekend at St. Vincent's Children's Sanitarium. And it's crazy. It's a really creepy clip. Check it out. You can see an orb flying out, and this woman has dowsing rods in her hand, and they're just going in circles. So once again, Paranormal NOLA. It was a cool thing you could find on YouTube. But now, on with the show.
So yeah, I need something lighter today. And as we discussed
lighter.
before, we have a special guest tonight. The good thing is that because we had all this creepy, like, paranormal stuff,
this might get creepy and paranormal in some respects.
There might
too.
be some paranormal spirits that come out of this.
We have a very
one, too.
special guest with us tonight. And I want to point out, though,
yes,
this show is turning into an action-based show where one of us, when I say one of us, I mean me, goes out and does something or has something done, and we record or talk about it. And you're not doing anything like this yet. You're not. Well, you don't have to go on bad dates because you're taken. You haven't been interviewed in a tattoo chair, nor have you gone on a ghost hunt. You need to get some adventure onto the show so we have something to talk about.
Okay, I'm going to work on that.
That is my challenge to you, my friend.
Okay, I'm going to a knitting class next weekend. You
Yes.
and me, buddy, with
Crochet,
the 84-year-olds. We're going to do it. We're going to hit it.
I'm gonna beat those bingo bitches.
That's
and I'm
right.
gonna crochet the best
That's right.
in the world.
That's right.
All right.
Well, we have a very special guest tonight. We're here with Stephanie Reynolds. Stephanie, say hello to our wonderful Liquid Kernedge audience.
Hey, guys.
Thank you very much. Stephanie is an avid listener as well.
We thank you for
she
that.
usually
All four of
listens
you.
before I... yeah, for the 10 of you out there, we really appreciate you. She usually listens before. And we are kind of excited because we talked last week that this week's episode was going to be about bad first dates.
Yeah.
Now, being that Scott and Stephanie are both starting to experience the first dates again, and they might be bad, they might be good, we're hoping that the insight of the two of you, coupled with the previous experience of my one or two bad first dates, will carry us into a fun-filled episode for all of our listeners.
I'm glad how you narrowed yours down to one or two bad dates over your lifespan.
Well, I only have two that I remember. All the rest of them, I've drunk
the rest
myself
out
of it.
All right, I get that. All right,
So Stephanie, welcome to the podcast. You're a long-time listener, first-time participant.
Yeah.
Yes.
You're the equivalent of a call-in for us right now, so we thank you for that.
So I guess the way I'd like to start is, when you're out on your first date, what do you guys experience? Like, how are you finding these first dates? I mean, do you just run into someone at a bar
I didn't know that I
I
was going to be the subject to have to talk about my experiences too.
I thought we were talking about your activities.
No, not my. No, we brought a special guest in for this one this week.
So right now, if you're out there trying to find dates, where are you finding these first dates, even to start doing this process?
Okay, so this is really embarrassing, but I signed up for Plenty of Fish.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's terrible. It was a terrible, terrible idea. Like, the look on your face says it all.
And how did you choose Plenty of... sorry, wait a minute. Let me rebreathe. How did you choose Plenty of Fish? We take our interviews seriously.
It was free. I mean...
You can't beat that price, free, but you get what you pay for.
Yeah.
You get what you pay for.
Okay, so talk a little bit about that. So what is Plenty of Fish? What does it do?
So it's basically just, think of it as like sex Facebook. It's pretty much sex Facebook, which is not what I was expecting when I signed on.
I've never heard it put that way.
That's what it is. Like, you put your picture out there, and it's a bunch of people just trying to get at it.
So it's a bunch of
Just trying to get
randos
at
just
it.
trying to...
Now,
Yeah.
that was not your intent, or was
Totally
that was your
not
intent?
my intent. No. It was not my intent. I was like, I'm going to sign up for this. I'm going to meet me a nice man. And it didn't happen.
It did not
that
work.
way.
You found the exact opposite. Can I suggest like Christian Mingle? Is that
Yeah.
still a thing?
Oh my God. I don't even know.
Farmers only.
Farmers only.
We do farmers only. We could do all kinds of them.
We can go down the list if you want.
And do the people approach you? Do you approach people? What's the experience been?
Mostly they approach me.
Okay.
Yeah, I've got a couple offers for like $200 or $300, so that was impressive.
Hey, at
Sugar
least
daddy?
you know your
Wow.
rates. You know your rates.
Yeah,
You know that you want to
I
be
think that
able.
they're selling that short. Like,
Yeah, hey, you know what though? That's fine. You can put your own. If they offer, you can counter offer.
Yeah.
Negotiations have to start somewhere.
Exactly. I'm worth at least $1,000.
Exactly.
I mean, at least.
Exactly.
So I've gotten that. I've gotten you. It's mostly, a few of those.
That was not a
come from high
solicitation
beautiful.
for any of our potential police listeners. 'Cause I know we do have a few
I mean, it
lawyers
could
out
be.
there.
I'm just saying.
Please.
Yeah,
This
we're
podcast doesn't make
we're
enough
not
money for
promoting,
us. Yeah, we're not-
prostitution in any stretch of the imagination.
we've already left the rail on this one. 2 minutes in.
So Plenty of Fish. Have you gotten any first dates off of Plenty of Fish?
Yes. Yeah. I got 3 of the 5 first dates that I've been on recently off Plenty of Fish.
Now I don't know about you, but that
That's
sounds like some pretty good numbers.
That's a 60% success rate. Well,
They were
for a
not
first date.
successes.
For a first date.
Let's clarify.
a 60% conversion rate
Yeah.
for a first date. Yeah.
So let's start with what the expectation of the first date should be. You're a single person. You are meeting someone for the first time, kind of a blind date, maybe not. What would be an expectation of a first date that you would say, wow, okay, this guy really has done a good job on a first date? What's your highest level of expectation?
I mean, I'm gonna level with you here. I set the bar really, really low. I mean, really, really low.
Wow.
I recently
They're
recently
alive.
separated. I was married for 7 years. I have no idea how this is supposed to work. So
Let's give a little background on Stephanie. And you're in your mid-20s.
Yeah.
Mid-20s.
A successful professional.
Successful professional, mid-20s, just trying to start to figure this out again. You're not the only one out there that does this. We've all been there at one point in time. So you remember when I was her age, way back when you and I were first started hanging out?
God.
And-
Long time ago. Rosa Parks,
baby. And we would go to dinner, and you and I would argue about dating because you were married at the time, and I was a very wide-eyed. I had a very optimistic look on the dating world. 10 years later, I don't have that same outlook.
Okay, but in reference to that, though, I think that at some point, because I did mention to Stephanie that there were the 3 date rules that you had. There were the 3
Of my
dates in a
20s.
row
Of my
back in your
20s,
20s.
yeah.
And so maybe at some point during this whole process, we can delve into that a little bit to see how you've matured.
Yeah, okay. Yeah,
yeah, that was impressive.
yeah, right. Yeah, we'll see how far I've wandered off from that philosophy. It takes some life to harden you to adapt to that.
So for you, what would be a good first date?
I mean, for me, a good first date is just meeting somebody that you click with, taking time to talk, preferably going somewhere where you can have a conversation.
Public place, just
Yeah,
in case.
a public place in case you're an axe murderer or you want to wear me as a skin suit.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I date tall, because most of them wouldn't fit me.
Oh, okay. Well,
I just had a mental picture. I hope you did too. They want to make sure they're at least taller than 5'9", so that they don't have to worry about using you as the suit.
Exactly.
They just wouldn't look good on them.
so where do you go for your first dates? Because if you're going to a public place, are you like going out for drinks or coffee or?
So that brings up kind of an interesting point. Like 4 of the 5 guys have asked me out to sushi. I have no idea what it is. I don't know if guys feel like it makes them look sophisticated.
It does. It's
or-
it's that classy. Like, I'm going to show her I like sushi because around here people don't normally like it. No, I get that. It's them trying to impress you by showing they're more highbrow.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You know what's sexy? I can eat raw fish.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Doesn't
except
that
they ordered the cheeseburger.
Exactly. You want some sushi? Can I have the fried lice, please, or fried rice?
Poking at it with their
Fried
fingers.
lice.
Fly lice, you
lice.
click. Fly lice, you click. Little Lethal Weapon 4 right there.
So I wonder what that is. Why?
I think it's a maturity thing. I think guys are trying to show you that they are more sophisticated. They're more than just cheeseburgers and Bud Light. To be honest with you.
And I guess to be fair, Kingman doesn't have a wide variety of unique types of restaurants. I mean,
No, and truth be told, on your first date, you don't really want to be out on a date for more than an hour and a half, just in case. I mean, if it goes bad, you're gonna want to hit the.
Is that a
button.
rule that you live by?
I kind of play it by ear, although it's funny that you say that because I ended up on a 45-minute date last night unexpectedly. So that was.
What, did you know you were going on the date, or
Oh, I
until
knew
you
I was
showed
going
up?
on a date. I just didn't know it was going to be 45 minutes.
Well, that happens. I mean, if it's going poorly, you have to hit that eject button.
Yeah.
We all have our tells.
I'm like, can I get my Diet Coke to go? I'm like
Exactly.
still flipping it as he's walking out the door.
Exactly.
So
It's
having a place for everything.
But that's generally like what I used to do my first dates, and I still do it now. I'll be honest, I haven't dated that much over the last few months. I really haven't had an interest in it. But the about an hour to an hour and a half, and if it goes well, you can extend it to go find something else to go do, have dinner, or whatnot. But I try to limit mine to drinks or coffee, just to kind of sit and talk and get to know someone.
Drinks or coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. I would think that would be okay.
Yeah, I think so.
What about the activity date where, hey, we're going to go hiking?
Stephanie, you couldn't see this because we're a podcast. She rolled her eyes so hard that she just gave herself a concussion.
Okay.
How many times have you been asked out on a hike?
Oh my god. Okay, so no, actually, it would have been a really cool date. Oh man, if he's listening, I'm sorry. You're a nice dude. But he took me out, and it was the first date. And he took me out to do like this kind of Can-Am demo, which I'm thinking like, oh, that's great. We'll do some side-by-sides. We'll get a chance. It was terrible. I was getting shit whipped in the face with trees. Like I maybe heard 3 words. I had dirt in my teeth.
Okay, so for our listeners, what is a Can-Am demo?
So a Can-Am demo, it's basically like where you go and you demo side-by-sides. Or
you're test driving side-by-side.
We're test driving side-by-sides.
That's quads?
Yeah.
They're essentially
Okay.
like Raptors.
Okay.
Yeah,
all right.
racers, whatever.
Now that sounds promising.
No.
It sounds like
If you don't want to talk to someone.
It sounds like a great idea, exactly, but that's not exactly conversation filled to help build that bond.
Which is probably a good thing because within the first 5 minutes I got in his car, he told me I talked too much and asked how big my tits were. So realistically,
mother
that was
of
great.
Okay, I'm
That was a
making
great
some really
idea.
good notes for what to talk about, not to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't even think 5 minutes you know someone well enough to be able to ask that.
No, I don't think you do. And
Right?
I'm surprised you lasted to the stop sign with something like that.
Oh yeah, and then
Or is it because you were in the car and he wasn't going to stop until you got to the Can-Am demo? That's
yeah,
pretty much-
which was in Havasu for the record. So I'm driving the next 50 minutes in absolute horrified silence.
Oh my God, you in a car for an hour on a second date with this?
No, it was a
First date!
First date!
This is the first date!
That's a first date?
She said it was the first date.
It was a first
Oh
date.
man, you're right,
Yeah.
man. I apologize. I got confused on that. Holy crap.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
That was awful.
That's the worst thing ever.
So, and then he's like, well, you talk so much. Are you nervous or is this just you normally? And I'm like, well, I'm nervous, but this is me normally. And he's like, oh, I don't talk a lot. You might want to,
So just because he sits in silence means you have to sit in silence?
No. Here's the best part is I sat in silence for the whole drive while he proceeds to tell me all these horrific stories about his crazy exes and how he almost went to jail and put something through a wall. So that was great.
Yeah, I'm learning. I'm going to learn a lot more about what not to do for people out there.
Yeah, this is that's horrific. That is horrific.
Yeah.
Scott, have you ever asked a girl how big her breasts were on the first date?
No.
Yeah, just wait till the second, guys.
Yeah.
Rule number 1: wait till the second date
date.
to ask how big someone's breasts are.
I can. On a side note, I can already wait for my our executive producer Tom's notes on this one. I think it's going to be a
Well,
great.
maybe
note
we
list.
can bring him on the show toward the end if we have time. We'll
Yeah,
bring
we'll
him on
talk
the
to
show.
him.
Yeah,
We'll
we'll
get
talk
him on
to
the air. We'll
We'll
talk
get him
to
on
him.
the
We'll Skype
air.
it and see what
We'll
happens.
we'll Skype him in and see if he can get a bird's eye view of what we're talking
Because
about.
I'm sure he lives in Phoenix. I'm sure he's had a lot of great first dates that he'd love to tell us about. So that might be a good topic to discuss with him if we have time at the end of the show.
Does it make a difference whether you know someone on a first date versus a blind date? Does that make a difference?
I think so. I think it changes the comfort level.
I honestly, none of the 5 dates that I've been on, I haven't known any of them. They've all
Okay.
been relatively blind or somebody set me up.
How much are you communicating with them prior to this date? Like, are you
Like
texting?
texting quite a bit.
Yeah.
Most of them I text for at least 3 weeks before I'm certain they're not going to murder me. Or...
Wow, that's a pretty good
now
leeway
text
time.
or through the messaging of Plenty of Fish.
Well, it usually starts on there, but I usually text. But I
How do you do the awkward transition to here's my phone number, text me?
I don't do that. I wait for them to ask for it.
That's smart.
Okay, that's good because
Shows that they're not
they're
afraid to
interested.
take the lead.
They're interested. That's good.
Yeah.
That's really good.
That's
really good. I like that. Okay.
Yeah.
This is like the craziest documentary I think we've done. The ghosts last week scared you, but this scares the shit out of me right here. It's
Oh, this is terrifying. This is way worse than that.
like ooh.
So are we past the
Commitment. No.
are we past the norms in our society that a woman could not organize a first date and arrange the first date?
I'll be honest. I don't think we're in a society anymore where traditional dating applies. I think with social media being what it is and communication via text changes the game so much. And I really do honestly believe if you've been in a relationship for more than like a year and a half or so, you forget how to date because the game changes so fast. Really, it does. It changes.
Yeah, well, my problem is that I couldn't even imagine while being in a long-term relationship, I couldn't even imagine trying to be another foot out there to try again. Like, I would think I'd be comparing every single person to my ex and totally ruining things. I can see why men cry, like when they start talking about their exes and stuff. They're like, "Wow, you're a really nice girl. Your hair smells like my ex-girlfriend." Okay, check. Check.
Just emotionally broken inside, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
See, and I'm so cynical. I don't know if it comes from doing this right out of marriage, but I've already come into this resigned to the fact that I'm going to be alone for life, which makes it so much easier because I have no expectations of where this is going to go, and I'm okay just spending the rest of my life with my cat.
Now, do you think that? Do you think that?
That was full of
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, one of those.
Okay, so we have a crazy cat lady on the show. A completely honest question: do you think maybe you jumped into the dating scene too fast?
No, not really. No, I mean, I've been out of my marriage for probably 7 months. I mean, you know, it's kind of quiet on that. But I mean, for a couple years before that, we knew that's where it was going.
So you were emotionally ready to get out there and try again.
Yeah.
You just didn't know the shit show you're going to walk into.
Yeah, and I'm not really looking for anything serious, which makes it nice too. I'm just kind of looking to put myself back out there and remember how much I hate men, anyways.
Oh, that's good. Well, you're on the right
it's
track.
working.
Wow, they're doing a really good job of proving that.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, thanks, guys. That's a really good point.
Shot through the heart. You're to blame.
You give love a bad name. That's right. That's exactly
That's right, Tom. I quoted Bon Jovi. Mark the time.
1616.
Okay, 16.
And we'll get into that
So-
when we bring Tom on later. We'll get into that whole
we'll get to
timing
that.
thing.
So you've had 5 first dates out of this. 3 were bad. Or 3 great, because now I'm confused.
3 were bad, 2 were mediocre.
2 were mediocre.
That's looking up.
So your stats are starting to change. Is there going to be a potential second date with any of these guys, with the 2 other prospects?
I've been on a couple of second dates with a couple of them.
Okay, so how did the second dates entail? Because are they as
Well,
horrific
no,
as the
I need to know the first date. It was dinner at sushi place, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that was
literally we're all 3 dinner at the sushi at Sakura?
Yeah. They
Oh
were,
my god. Like, Stephanie, good to see you again.
We have your table.
Well, exactly. I'm worried that the waiter's going to be like, are you the same one from last week?
You know what he's gonna do?
You were here last time.
He's gonna be
another
rolling
dude.
your sushi roll. What a slut!
I know.
This slut gets around. I'll make special sushi for her.
Hey, I mean, I like sushi. I get free sushi out of it. It's okay.
That's true. I mean,
Have you ever had to pay for a date?
Yes, actually. Okay, so the worst date. Oh, this
God,
is
this
so.
gets worse and worse.
Oh no, this is like a regular. So this is so embarrassing. I met a respiratory therapist who lives in Needles. I should have known because nothing good ever comes from or happens in Needles. And
I'd like to apologize to any of our listeners in Needles right now.
I'm not sorry.
The express written opinions and of our guests do
opinions.
not represent Liquid Kernedge and its hosts.
So I drove out and.
So you went to
up
meet them
there.
in Needles.
Yeah, no, we went to like Bullhead. Kind of
Okay, halfway.
Halfway.
Meet halfway.
Yeah, I drove more, so whatever.
Yeah.
But anyway, so
She's not keeping score.
I'm not bitter. So I went out there, and dinner was going pretty decently. You know, we had a lot of good conversation. He seemed like a stable guy. And then all of a sudden, he just starts pounding drinks, just pounding them. And I'm sitting there awkwardly like, you should probably stop. Like, you may want to not do that, you know? And so he gets completely hammered. And then starts talking about like how he's going to throw this plate of food at the server, this tiny little Asian man. So he's like getting aggressive. So I had to like walk this guy out of a restaurant. I had to pay the bill. And then he couldn't find his car. So I had to drive him back to his house.
In Needles.
Yes.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm shocked.
I am
no.
blown away by that.
Jeez. Yeah, this might be an episode that helps a lot of people.
What not to do?
What not to do, period. Like, if you're a guy, don't get hammered.
Yeah.
Don't get hammered on your first date.
Keep it light. Keep it friendly. Don't ask the size of her breasts. You know, don't tell her she talks too much.
For the record, it's huge. Just
What-
wondering.
Yeah, if you have to ask, though, that's not a good sign, dude. If you have to ask what size, and you say, that motherfucker's big, okay? I don't even know. What size is that? That's just big.
Exactly. Take it for what it is.
I am fucking shocked, man. That's
Oh, that's shocking.
And
Normal
so
right now.
he was a one and done.
Yeah.
He was one and done.
Yeah, he hit me up later, and I was honestly shocked. I thought he would have been so embarrassed. And he still every so often texts me, and I accidentally butt dialed him the other day.
It's not good.
I
No
just
bueno.
deleted him from my phone after.
Oh my God!
So that was where you paid for one. You had the ones when you had the ones at Sakura. What was the conversation like? Was it like easy? Was it difficult?
So one was actually a professor who went to Cambridge. Ooh, very prestigious, and that was actually a nice conversation, very interesting. He traveled a lot, but when I actually enjoy somebody's company, I get incredibly nervous, and I'm super clumsy, so it was terrible. I spilled sushi down my shirt.
How do you spill sushi down your shirt?
I don't know. If there's a way to do it, I'll do it. Like, I just found it. I went to pick up a roll, and I'm, really trying to impress him with my chopstick game, and it goes straight in the cleavage, and I'm trying to pick it out, and there's, little pieces of, fish egg.
It went into her cleavage.
Oh, wow.
And he was a traveler, so he was thinking, well, maybe I'll just keep on traveling.
Oh, you American girls.
So that one might have been a little on your fault, right?
Oh, the whole date was my fault, and then somehow I got a second date out of it. But I ended up hitting him in the face. I spilled a beer on him.
What the hell,
I was
woman?
so clumsy. I
What?
didn't mean to.
How do you spill a beer in someone's face?
Oh, I didn't spill a beer in his face. I hit him in the face with my hand when I was gesturing, and I spilled a beer on him when I was picking up the beer.
So that brings up an interesting question. So it was date one.
That was two.
That was
No. 2 was the one where I fell down the stairs, and then I sneezed on him when he tried to kiss me.
Holy shit. Okay, let's start from square one. You got to walk with me on this one. We're going to follow the bouncing ball. Okay, so
God.
date one. We're on a date with a professor from Cambridge.
Yes, we're at
Cambridge.
sushi.
Cambridge.
Yeah.
Cambridge.
Charlene.
Charlene Theron.
Just say
Charlize Theron. Not Charlene.
He did that for you, buddy.
He's from Cambridge.
He's from
yes.
Cambridge. Okay, so you're on the first date, and you mentioned you slapped him by accident with a hand gesture.
Yes.
So
Well,
you were sitting on the same side of the booth with him.
No. This is we actually, after sushi, surprisingly, he thought it went well enough to want to go downtown. I think it was like some Andy Devine Days type deal. So we went downtown. We went to the Rickety Cricket, and I decided to drive since I knew where we were going. And I'm pointing out things as we go. He's asking about them, and I gestured at something, and I just did it with too much enthusiasm, and I slapped him in the eye and poked his eye, and
Okay, I could maybe give that one a
yeah,
watch.
I
could give that one a
I give it a
pass.
pass.
Okay.
Okay.
and then
And he might have thought that was cute and funny.
Yeah.
he said it was
Icebreaker.
charming.
Yeah.
He thought it was
Charming.
charming. He thought it was adorable.
Did he speak with a British accent?
No, he
Okay,
did not
it
speak with a
wasn't-
British accent.
Oh,
He's like an American white dude
wanker.
with a big ginger beard.
Oh.
It's
Oh,
very
that sounds like a total-
very lumbersexual, like hipster.
Very lumber sexual.
He is not a fucking teacher then, dude. That guy, Cambridge, really? He's probably talking about Cambridge, Iowa, okay?
He does it as a second. English is a second language, so he goes to other countries and teaches English, like in Asia
So he goes
and
to
things like that.
England to teach English. Okay. Yeah. This guy's from bumfuck Egypt, Arkansas. Dude.
I've told that story a few times in a bar to meet women.
Yeah. Yeah, baby.
Oh yeah, I'm an English teacher in England. That's great. It's a foreign language.
So that was the first date you slapped him in the face.
Yeah.
But it was unintentional, and he thought it might have been kind of
So the second date, you spilt a beer on
No,
him.
the first date I spilled the beer on him. We went down to the
I
Rickety
can't keep track of
Cricket.
how big of a shit show you were for this guy.
It was a shit show. So I put the hot mess when it comes to this. And we went to the Rickety Cricket, and we ordered a couple beers. And I went to turn, and as I turned, I didn't realize that the bar stool was so close to me. And so I tripped over it and tossed my drink backwards over my shoulder all over him. And it was really bad. And he laughed. He was really nice about it.
Well, I'm sure he thought it was just cute as a button, having beer spilt all
I
over.
bought the beers, so he can't complain.
I want to point out that my dogs are watching right now. Walter is just looking with
There's
judgment.
so much judgment on his face.
Not to mention they haven't barked one
They haven't barked
friggin'
once,
time.
knock on wood, but-
they're like reading it all in, like
Yeah.
holy.
He's
fuck.
like, crap, man.
Yeah.
I got to keep this silent, or I'm gonna really miss something.
What's she gonna say next? Because this is bad.
And now, have you had a third date with him?
No. Yeah,
Have you made it to the third date phase yet?
Well, no. So he sort of like dropped off the face of the earth after the second date.
Can't
and I
imagine
sneezed
why.
on his face.
Oh, you know what? Arkansas has really bad telephone reception. I know that for a fact. Cambridge, Arkansas is like so, like no you know, like you're deep in the woods.
Oh man, you're in the sticks. So there's been no third date.
Yeah, no third date.
No third date. So we've only made it to date 2 on your dating escapades.
Yeah.
So what I'm taking from this section of the podcast is that a second date may or may not be as much the female's fault as it is the male's fault.
I don't know. In this case, I might think otherwise.
I don't know. This one sounds pretty. You might be culpable.
This is the
Mea culpa.
It is the only one where I wanted the second date. So all the others, I said no, I wasn't interested in going on a second date.
And then you went on a second date with him, proceeded to just sneeze on him and throw drinks at him.
Oh, that's right. He tried to kiss you and you sneezed on him.
Yes.
Jesus.
Oh wow!
And with a red beard, that would be tough.
Yeah,
I didn't sneeze. Like I didn't quite catch his face, but like he came in and then I turned my head, so I think he thought I was dodging the kiss. But then I like kind of tried to turn to make up for it and like explain what was going on, and I sort of like sneezed halfway onto his shirt.
But so you didn't like sneeze into his mouth then?
No, not into his open mouth. But I was like, I got super sick. Like halfway through the date, I could feel it coming on, and I was like sick for like a week. But I fell down the stairs while we were on the date, and so I was like,
okay.
I was just everything.
This feels like just like a bad episode.
Yeah,
that
one that's definitely not his fault.
So
no offense, that was yours.
I'm going to switch it up here and walk me through what your ideal first, second, and then what your ideal third date is for any potential suitors out there listening. Because you can find us on Podbean and iTunes. Or at Liquid Kernedge on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. We can help set you up with Stephanie if you want, providing her 3 dates.
And you're not contagious to any sneeze.
And you've had your flu shot. So
some people are into it, you know.
I mean,
so in your mind,
what a date with Stephanie here on Liquid Kernedge.
Let's break down, like Scott said. Let's break down what a good first, second, and then third date would be for Stephanie Reynolds.
Okay, so a good first date, I would just say somewhere nice where we can have a conversation, reasonably decent restaurant. I don't care if it's expensive, if it's not expensive, just somewhere quiet with decent food where we can kind of get to know each other. Or
now this is after you're 3 week minimum texting rule, so you know the guy's not a serial killer.
Yeah, I don't have to text them for 3 weeks, but it usually takes me that long to get interested in somebody anyways, just to make sure that they can spell.
You know, let me ask this: as a girl, do you need to dress up? Do you want to dress up? What's the rules on those? Like, because sushi is not necessarily a place that you gussy up for. You know, if you're going for dinner. So would you rather kind of dress up a little bit, look nice in a dress and stuff, and go to a dinner like that on your first date?
So dressing up, that's a hard one. For me, it's like this hard line because you really want to look, you know, sexy, but you also want to look classy. Like I need a shirt that says, "Hey, look, I have great tits, but you can't touch them just yet." So it's a really hard balance.
So restaurant that allows for that to happen. Let's see.
That's the classy part, you know.
Subway's out. Jimmy John's,
possibly
Chipotle,
Jimmy
John's,
maybe Chipotle,
yeah.
maybe Chipotle.
No,
Okay.
it's rough. You know, I always want to look nice, but there's nowhere in town that's really upscale enough to dress up.
Yeah, I think the closest
that
would be
much.
like Matina's or maybe,
Yeah.
maybe the Lodge.
Yeah, and I mean, that
Maybe the Lodge.
Usually just wear something.
You know,
nice,
though, it
heels.
depends, though, because sometimes I'll go out in the rain and she'll wear just a nice pair of slacks and a nice blouse, and she'll look
And that's
together.
something that I'll do.
She'll
do
put
that.
together.
Yeah.
And we don't have a lot of, like, it doesn't be super formal, but yeah, you can look nice even being casual.
Well, my bigger concern is that, like you said, there's not that many nice restaurants, and two, you know, spending $150, $200 on a first date may not be realistic either.
And I'll be honest, I think that's completely unrealistic. Spending $150, $200 on the first date at a fancy restaurant is probably more out of the question than I think people realize.
Yeah.
And if you're going to do that, I can already tell you, you're doing it wrong.
Yeah, and if you do that, I feel like you're being ostentatious for a reason.
Yeah,
you're trying to
show
compensate
off.
for something.
Yeah, you're trying to show
Yeah.
off. Like, yeah, that's not going to... You get made fun of for that.
And I don't even mind going Dutch. I've gone Dutch on like some of my dates.
See, that's good to know for everyone out there.
Yeah.
No, I would rather I'll pay for dinner if you want to buy a beer afterwards.
And that's typically what I end up
fine,
doing.
yeah.
It's I'll buy drinks or I'll do
Yeah,
something because I just don't want people to think that I feel
the nice thing is that shows that you're at least invested and you're not just out for the free drinks and dinner. You know?
So nice dinner place where you can sit down and talk. Do you need to have alcohol flowing?
Sounds like it.
I'm scarred, honestly, from the guy who got super drunk, so I really, really don't care. I don't drink because I drive myself because I don't want you to know where I live.
So might I suggest like Starbucks for you in the future just to be safe?
On a first date?
Yeah.
Do you think I need more caffeine?
I think you can get on caffeine stuff there.
Decaf.
Okay, so the first date, I think we get the picture. What would a second date look like?
For me, a second date, I would say, is something maybe more involved where you get to see more of their personality come out. That would be something where I wouldn't have minded doing like the Can-Am demo or going out and doing a hike or something like that.
I still can't buy the Can-Am demo because you can't hear them. It's like going to a movie.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if there's something else with it, lunch, and then you go do a fun activity, or you go, like, I think it'd be cool to go kayaking or do something like that, just to get to know what somebody's interested in.
What about feeding the animals that are a shelter? Would that be nice, like the cats?
I mean, okay. Don't because I wouldn't even be able to focus on you. I'd be like, puppy.
Yeah.
So
Oh, look at the little kittens. I'm over here.
yeah, that's a great way
over
to
here.
ensure you get no attention from me all day. Just something to see your interests, or even a movie at that point. Movies I would say are more of like a third date type deal
No.
where you know something a little better.
Scott, do you have a better?
No,
one, two, three?
honestly, I don't think you should see a movie in the first couple dates, because if you're still trying to get to know somebody, going to the movie theater is a terrible way.
But how are you going to get the inappropriate grabbing of the breast? So
That's
you put your
exactly
arm
what
around
I'm looking
someone if
for.
You're not at a movie.
I guess
If you're not at a
to
movie,
each their own, but
Yeah.
I'm going to go off
hey,
on a limb here.
the
specifically
move worked when I
so-
was 15, and it works today.
Yeah, you gotta do the yawn.
I'm going to go on a limb and say maybe you should just be upfront about that then. But honestly, anyone else out there, I don't think a movie is a good first 3 or 4 dates. I really don't.
Really?
I don't. Like, in the movie theater, I think it's a bad idea.
Okay.
I can see that if it's not. I don't want it to be the main focus. It can be part of it. Like you can do. A movie and then dinner. You have to have some kind of way to catch up and
Yeah.
talk to each other.
Yeah.
But I also want to know you don't like shit movies because.
Well, hopefully that
Some
comes up in the
people like shit
conversation. And if you're right, if there's a movie you both want to see, maybe that's one thing. But I have a hard time when you're trying to connect with somebody and bond with somebody, sitting in the theater with them for 2, sometimes 3 hours this time of season, staring at a movie theater. You don't have a chance to actually talk unless the movie sucks, like Liz blows.
I don't know. I like to watch what they laugh at and make sure that it's actually funny.
Wow, so you're judging through
I'm
that.
totally
It's
judging
very
them through the whole
interesting.
thing. Yeah.
I know, you're judging me, by the way. You're looking at me
No,
right now.
when I was a senior in high school, I finally got the courage to ask a girl to dinner in a movie, and I was so excited. Like we had dinner at a pizza place in our little area. It was kind of quiet, small little place in Juneau, and we were having a great time. We were laughing. We were just having so much fun. We decided to go to the movie, and we went to go see Born on the 4th of July. And then we were so
Has Tom Cruise not fucked your life enough as it is?
I thought my dates were bad.
and so both of us at the end were like, "You want to just go home?" Yeah, I kind of want to go. We were both just depressed beyond belief. I said, "I'll make sure to always get a comedy."
Yeah. You gotta keep the movie light. There's a lot to that.
Sorry, Kelly Winchell, if you're listening out there. I feel bad.
For what it's worth, though, Kelly still has a love affair with Tom Cruise going on all these years later.
Yeah, but I've watched some pretty bad movies, and I'll never bring a date unless it's Noreen.
That's true.
And she just knows, I can't go gamble, can't I?
No, you're stuck.
You gotta go
You're
watch
stuck.
this one.
That
so.
should till death do you part on that
Yeah.
one.
So, well, okay. So
date 2 would be your activity date, like you're out Can-Amming, there's lunch or dinner involved.
Yeah. Still,
Possibly
you have to have conversation.
something like if
Yeah.
you're interacting, like maybe a good hike or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Just something to gauge
Wine,
interest.
paint and wine, whatever the hell it's called. You go and you paint and drink together.
Yeah, where you
I
go
think
and
that would
check
be a
out like
lot of
Desert
fun.
Diamond Distillery or
See,
something.
I think that would be a fun.
great.
That would be a
Yeah.
fun date. The wine tasting
Yeah.
and the painting, because
Oh, yeah.
you guys are interacting, and if it's a couples one, then you have to make the pictures side by side, which gives you like, oh, let's see where your creative side is.
taking it a little far,
And then if you go a little. And I'm going to take a break now. You guys go ahead. Wow. So I'm getting judged
Shut
now.
down.
What the hell, dude?
Oh, buddy, you've been judged for a long time, so.
No, it's cute. It's cute.
Now, do you think by date 2, though, that you'd have a pretty good idea that this guy is I was gonna say is not doable, but he's good enough to go on a third
There's
date?
potential there to.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I pretty much know how I feel about you from the first date on. So if there's a second date, there's going to be a third date unless you do something just completely off base.
Well, let's also remind everybody that Stephanie said she's really set her bar low here, too.
Oh, I
so
totally
as long as you
set
have a
my bar
pulse.
low. Yeah, if you have a
And
pulse, then
somewhat good
preferably
looking.
don't live with your parents.
Yeah.
Oh my God, every guy. I'm not kidding. All five so far. I'm like over 5 on the not living with your parents thing. Oh man.
Wow.
Yeah, it's bad.
Now, are these kids like 20?
No, I'm dating people who are between 35 and 47. That's
Shut the
like
f-
my prime range. Yeah, youngest one has been 33, I think.
Wow. And they live with their parents?
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up, man.
Do you now
that's sad.
you're a professional worker at the hospital. Do you find that intimidates, or is that a problem for some of the suitors that you've gone on dates with?
I think it is a little intimidating for people. I've had a lot of people comment on the fact that, oh, you own a house, or, wow, you drive a car. So,
You drive a car. Oh, you don't have a Schwinn anymore?
Oh my God.
it's a shit show. So yeah, I mean, I do think people find that intimidating. I mean, I'm very independent and able to take care of myself, but.
Well, that's why she's going to be a crazy cat lady. She's okay with herself by that already. So.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Scott, when was the last time you went on a first date?
Oh man, it's been months.
I was gonna say because most of the people that you kind of interact with are kind of more social. Like you're socially, I'm here at this place, you're here at this place, and we kind of just interact. But they're not really dates per se.
Yeah, no. I as like I said earlier, in my own rule, I tend to keep dates, first dates, like to Starbucks or a bar, and just to have a drink or two, just get to know somebody. You can decide if it's gonna go anywhere from there. I keep it pretty casual. I don't, really.
Do the first dates ever get a degree of we've progressed far enough in the first date that maybe I would be willing to be intimate? I mean, does that ever cross your mind after a good first date? Or I've had 6 beers, she's looking real good.
I'm so glad he's asking you.
Yeah, right?
Like, does that ever cross the mind? Like, well, I would never do that on a first date. Yeah, maybe I did on a first date. You're cute.
I don't think so.
That thought process doesn't cross your mind.
No, I mean I don't ever get that drunk on a first date.
On a first date. I'm glad you clarified. On the second though, it's game on.
It's game on. No, I'll be honest. On a first date, like I said, you're still just trying to figure each other out.
Right.
You're still trying to see if there's actually something there or what the deal is. So it's hard to get really slammered and just decide it's good enough for a date too after that.
God. Jeez. Maybe it's good that I'm not in it because I'm more of the direct approach. Within 10 minutes, I know whether or not I'm interested in you because you talk too much. Like I recently met a friend of mine who has a person they're kind of seeing, and within 10 minutes, I knew that person would drive me absolutely bonkers. I would never even talk to that person, date that person. I just wouldn't do it.
I know who you're talking about. No, I agree completely.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like there's some people that it takes 10 minutes to look at someone, and that's why first dates are kind of tough, because if you spend 10 minutes waiting at a restaurant and you find out that they're total not gonna...
Yeah.
See, I think women are more accommodating to the fact that, he's not perfect, but I'm going to give him a chance because maybe he's a nice guy.
It changes.
Where guys, I think, would say, you talk too much. Or,
it's
I don't like the way you eat your corn or whatever.
It's different. As you get older, it changes. You'll see. Hopefully you don't have the same problem I haven't because I'm in my mid-30s.
Oh, geez, really?
Right?
Ooh.
Yeah. The gray hair throw, it makes me look like my 40s.
He's not lying.
Yeah, right. It's hard for me, man, to date because it takes a lot of, I'm just not, like if I'm not interested, I
don't have the patience to pretend or to care anymore.
And it's not that they're not nice women or anything. It's just like, you know what, and I'm not exactly, sitting around doing nothing most of the time either. So I have a busy schedule across the board, so it's hard for me to fit in dates as it is. And I don't know, man, it's not the easiest thing in the world. And I guess I'm not saying choosy, but I'm just not in the right frame of mind to date right now. So I'm a bad person to ask this question.
I know people can't see Scott, but you can hear the velvet voice, and he's a catch, man. I mean, like he doesn't just slum. Like he's a catch. Like he has a very high standard of what is acceptable to him, and so just be aware that him's like I'm not really feeling it. It's not necessarily because of him. It might be because of you.
He has the luxury of being able to set his bar high.
That is one of my favorite. That is one of my favorite lines. It's not me, it's you.
Yeah. It's me, all right. You're damn right, it's me. Okay, so just to kind of wrap things up, let's talk about a couple just key pieces of advice that our special guests, can give out to people who are going to go on first dates. Some just rules or pieces of advice that will help them, because I'm imagining that some of the people that listen to this podcast are saying, gosh, I've been on like 10 first dates and I just can't seem to get the girl to want to have a second date. Or have the guy get a second date. So let's talk a little bit to help these people. I'm not trying to tell you who you are, JP. I mean, I'm not here to tell you anything, guys. But what are some things not to do on a first date that will really help your dating?
Don't sneeze on his face.
Yeah,
okay, that's I think any sort of
keep your alcohol to yourself. Don't throw it on them. But listen to stuff.
Know a limit, maybe.
Yeah, know your limits.
Don't drink to excess.
Honestly, I would say be confident. I mean, if you ask the girl out and she says yes, that's half the battle.
Ooh, I like that. That's kind of actually.
I mean, she's already said yes. She's giving you a chance. All you have to do is not talk too much. Be engaging and don't mess up, man. Just be yourself. And if yourself is weird, that's cool, man. You might have to go on 1,000 first dates to find that girl that's just weird, just like you. But you don't know unless you try.
I would put out there just when you're going on a dinner, you don't have to go over the top nines, but pick a nice place.
No, I would say be you.
Pick a nice place, man. Like, you spend 5 minutes and choose a restaurant, even if it's going down to Bullhead, and you can do a nice dinner and not go to some place that's a shithole.
I would not recommend going out of town on a first date unless you know the person previously.
I can second that.
It's being stuck in a car with someone for potentially an hour one way and then back if it goes bad.
Yeah,
you don't want that.
I screwed that up. All right.
That's something I generally don't do for a while, just because it's if you're not feeling conversation and it goes, or you think there's going to be and there's not, and it goes bad quick, you don't want that. You don't want that at all.
Oh well, yeah. I see. I'm bad at this.
Yeah, it's good in a long-term relationship.
I like the confidence. I do like the confidence. I like to be you said earlier, be yourself, man. Like, these people that try to put on a show and act like they're so badass or something, or, I'm really tough. I love books. What kind of books? Comic books.
Oh, I got that. I was telling somebody about how much I like to read, and so they start saying these things too, and I asked him about a book, and he's like, oh yeah, I read that. And then, I wasn't grilling them, but I started talking because it's one of my favorite books. And you could just tell he had no idea what the hell I was talking about. He okey-doked me.
Yeah. And that's
do not okey-doke.
Yeah, just like I said, be yourself. And I don't want to say stay in your comfort zone, but know your abilities when you're out on the date. Don't try to overextend yourself right away. I mean, you have to step outside your comfort zone at a certain point, but make sure that you're being genuine to yourself. Because at the end of the day, if this girl likes you, you want it to be for yourself, not this person you're pretending to be.
I think the other thing I would add that too is, it's okay on a first date if you don't kiss someone. Take some patience, take some time. You don't have to try to force your tongue down someone's throat on a first date.
A big one.
Yeah.
Or play it by ear, but the expectation of, I'm going to kiss someone on a first date. I don't even know you and I'm going to make out with you. Come on, give me a break.
I don't necessarily agree with that either. It's like I said, dating's a different world out there today, and it's going to change more and more as more social media comes out and how people interact. I mean, it's so different now, with texting than it was when I was in college before texting and everything really got,
Oh, that's a great point too. No dick pics if you're trying to woo someone.
Also, don't ask for boob pictures.
You'd be surprised how often somebody's like, "Oh, second date, here you go."
Here's a little something for you.
I know you didn't get enough protein on the first date.
You know what? I was gonna say no, but I can't say no now.
Which leads to my next tip. Keep it classy. Always keep it classy.
If you can.
Oh, try if you can to always keep it classy. I mean, that goes a long way. Class and respect goes a long way.
What would you say to people who take the rejection personally? Like, what would you say to them?
Don't. I mean, I know.
Preach it, sister.
Can you at least acknowledge that the people might be taking it personally?
Yeah, I think you have to. I think it's just like, and it's just a matter of just being honest, saying, it's I'm just not feeling it.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Don't take it hard, because there's going to be somebody else who appreciates you falling down the stairs and
Absolutely.
sneezing in their face and spilling beer on them.
That weirdo is out there for Stephanie somewhere.
We're going to find that guy.
If you guys have a clumsy fetish, hit me up.
If you think you have a clumsy fetish and you want to meet Stephanie, hit us up on Liquid Kernedge on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook.
Because we can get a hold of Stephanie. And
we can find her and we can set this up.
And boy, if you can take some of the nuggets of advice that we've given you over the podcast to do a great first, second, and third date with Stephanie, then all the better.
If you get to date number 4, you will be a personal guest on Liquid Kernedge, and we will pay for the 4th date. We will pay for date 4.
Okay, yes. If you can get past 3 dates and still want to go out with Stephanie.
Wait.
Once again, we at Liquid Kernedge are not condoning prostitution of any sorts or whatnot.
No.
It's like, if I can get past 3 dates with them, like,
on a serious note, if you're a nice guy, go to our Facebook page at Liquid Kernedge. We would be more than happy to try to set something up with our special guest tonight. She is a very classy girl with a great job, and she's a nice person. And although a little clumsy, gravity still works for her. It could be considered cute.
Yeah, and please don't laugh or snicker when we call you classy. We are trying to help you.
I was going to say most of what he said was true.
3 out of 4 ain't bad.
Yeah, right.
You know what, though? we ran out of time.
Did we?
Yeah.
Oh man, it goes so fast.
I apologize to Scott or to Tom.
We had him load up here on Skype, and that's too bad, Tom.
Dang,
we're
Tom,
gonna actually
have to
it's
get-
FaceTime.
we're
We're gonna
gonna have to get you
FaceTime
next
him,
time.
but we'll catch him next week because next week we're gonna talk about traditions.
Family traditions.
The holidays are
Holidays
upon us.
are upon us.
And we're going to talk about traditions, both Thanksgiving and Christmas.
And Christmas and the things that you do every year and the things that make the holidays such a warm and fun time.
Or the things you don't want to do that just drive you crazy, but you have to because it's quote unquote tradition.
And the good thing is that because it's going to be released on Thanksgiving, it'll give you and your loved ones the chance to catch up on all the things that maybe you do and maybe you don't. And then also, once you've enjoyed that, then you can listen to this podcast again
And realize that you don't have it that bad.
Yeah, you could have a first date on Thanksgiving, and it would be horrible. But this way, you could just have a nice first date with your family and friends and listen to Liquid Kernedge.
Absolutely. So
Wow.
thanks for checking us out, everybody. Once again, you can find us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, all at Liquid Kernedge.
Tom, we're really sorry. We'll get you on the next podcast, we swear.
It's coming. And the boys are saying goodnight, too. So with that, I will say, Scott.
I'm Jason, and as always, if you never know quite what to say, just have yourself some Liquid Kernedge.